All right, welcome back to our BCBA task list series. Today we're continuing concepts and principles with B2, define and provide examples of stimulus and stimulus class. Like response and response class, this is a very basic concept on the surface, one that you will see throughout your studies, throughout your practice, and throughout the terminology, and something that you don't want to overcomplicate. So we're going to go through both of these individually. As always, remember to check out behavioranalyststudy.com for our study materials. Please like and subscribe. Let us know when you pass so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. All right, B2. Define and provide examples of stimulus and stimulus class. So, like response and response class, one refers to a single item, while the other refers to a class of items. And what we mean is when we talk about a stimulus, we're talking about a single change in the environment, right? That's what a stimulus is, some sort of change in the environment. And so when you say stimulus, you mean a single change. When we're talking about stimuli, we mean multiple change. Now, when we talk about a stimulus class, we now have a group of stimuli, but the thing that differs from just a regular stimulus is these group of stimuli share these common elements. They can be formal, temporal, functional, and even arbitrary, which we'll go through all of those. Now, stimulus class and these stimuli in these classes can have more than one element. You can share formal properties and temporal properties. I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding sometimes. You can share more, you can have more than one characteristic in common. So just think of our SRS contingency, right? Our A, B, C. All that is our stimulus, response, stimulus. So what the task list is doing, we've covered response, now we're covering stimulus. We're basically starting from the building blocks, okay? Without the stimulus, response, stimulus, we don't have operant behavior. We don't have operant conditioning, and that's what we deal in. So we're not overcomplicating stimulus and stimulus class. Stimulus, a change in the environment. Stimulus class is just a group of stimuli with common elements, but you've got to really understand what people are talking about or what the questions are saying when they ask you about stimulus and stimuli. So which of the following is not a type of stimulus class? Well, temporal is. Topographical. Topographical will be essentially the same thing as formal, how something looks. And then functional, right? How it affects something. All three are a type of stimulus class. So of course our answer is going to be D. All of these are types of stimulus class. So what is a stimulus? It's an energy change that affects an organism through its receptor cells. That's the technical definition. It's true. It's there. You want to have a different definition in your head. All right. That's a good definition for when we're talking amongst ourselves or when we're talking to other BCBAs. But when you have to explain this to a parent or a stakeholder, you need something else, right? So how about a change in the environment that impacts our behavior? Okay. It means the same thing, much easier to understand. Now, a stimulus can be a noise, an object, a person, a sensation. It really can be any variable in the environment, okay? That's a change, and that's going to have an effect on us, okay? So, for example, you're relaxing on Saturday, then you receive an email from your boss, okay? Receiving an email is a stimulus. Two kids are fighting downstairs, and the mom yells at them. Fighting is a stimulus. Mom yelling is a stimulus. All these changes in the environment that impact the behavior, all right? So, again, I'm just going to keep repeating it. It's a very basic concept that you do not want to overcomplicate. Now, an antecedent stimulus can evoke or abate behavior. And think SDs and MOs, right? So with discriminative stimuli, these are typically what we call our instructions, right? The SDs have stimulus control over certain behaviors. And then the motivating operations, another antecedent stimulus, alter values of consequences and temporarily alter behavior. Now, consequent stimulus reinforce or punish, meaning they permanently change future behavior. So an antecedent stimulus, an SD or an MO, can evoke or abate behavior, while the consequent stimulus reinforce or punish behavior and change behavior permanently in the future. Question, you rarely stay out late on the weekends anymore. You will go to dinner, but then you will go home early. This weekend, however, your college friends are in town and you stay out until 4 a.m. Your behavior is affected by what? So what do we know about this? Well, we know your behavior. Okay, you don't stay out on the weekends anymore. You get home early. However, this weekend you stayed out very late, 4 a.m. So you have to ask yourself, what changed? What was the change in the environment, right? Well, the change was your college friends are in town. So when your behavior changes in the presence of a stimulus, what do we call that? A response class. Well, your behavior is not affected by the response class, right? Behavior is affected by some sort of stimulus change. So B, stimulus control, is really what we're looking for. When your behavior changes in the presence of a stimulus, we call that stimulus control. There's no shaping involved, no approximations, and we're not dealing with stimulus equivalence, right? We're not dealing with symmetry and reflexivity and transitivity. We're just simply saying your behavior changed, and the stimulus that changed it was your college friends are in town. Your behavior is under stimulus control of your college friends. So a stimulus class. Stimuli share common elements. Very straightforward, okay? You take a group of stimuli, they share common elements, right? If I write A, B, C, they share the same color, okay? They evoke the same function because I see them, I say letters. So we could maybe say these are, they share formal properties and functional properties, right? And even temporal properties because they're antecedents to me saying letters or alphabet, okay? It's really that simple. Don't make it more complicated than that. Now we're going to look at 4 type of classes. First is the easiest, okay? Formal physical feature. They share size, they share color, they share shape. Essentially, the topography is the same. Now, if they're formally similar, it doesn't mean they have to affect behavior the same way. That's an important idea, okay? If they're formally similar, that doesn't mean they necessarily affect behavior the same way. Temporal. Temporal just means the relationship in time. Do they come before or after, right? Antecedent or consequence. Functional is our discriminative stimuli. The effect on behavior is the same. A, B, and C all have the same effect of me saying alphabet, right? So functional stimuli have the same effect on behavior. A stop sign and me holding up my hand both have the same effect of a person stopping or somebody in a car stopping, okay? Those are functional stimuli. Now, a stop sign in my hand don't share any formal or physical features. However, they're both antecedent stimuli, okay? So you can see how different stimuli in different classes have different elements, all right? Now, don't get confused by that, okay? Just do a thought exercise where you think of 2 stimuli, okay? And ask yourself, are they formally similar? Are they temporally similar? Are they functionally similar? And then arbitrary. Maybe they evoke the same response, but are not formally similar at all, right? Like apples, bananas, and grapes. They don't share color, okay? They don't look the same, right? But they all evoke the same response of me saying fruit. So they're arbitrary, but they evoke the same response. So again, just do thought experiments if you ever get lost, okay? Think of 2 stimuli and ask yourself, do they look the same? Do they function the same? Do they appear in the same time and place? And if they don't look the same, do they still evoke the same response? So a canceled class, a text from a friend, or a sunny day all lead to Jim heading out to play volleyball with his friends. These 3 things are not considered a part of what type of stimulus class? All right, perfect. Here's a good thought exercise. Our stimuli are canceled class, text from friend, sunny day. They all evoke the same behavior, right? They all evoke Jim heading out to play volleyball. So we know for sure they're functionally similar. We can eliminate that. Now, are they temporally similar? Well, they're all antecedents to Jim heading out, so yes. Are they formally similar? Do they look alike? Well, no. Cancel class, text, and sunny day look nothing alike. So they are not formally similar at all. However, they are arbitrarily similar because they evoke the same response, but are not formally similar. So to sum up, okay, stimulus, any change in the environment, okay, that impacts our behavior, stimulus class, group of stimuli that share common elements. And you're going to see stimulus as we go through this everywhere. Okay, we have stimulus class, stimulus delta, discriminative stimulus, stimulus discrimination, stimulus equivalent, stimulus fading, stimulus generalization, stimulus prompts, and the list goes on and on. All right, it's used everywhere. Okay, that's why we don't need to overcomplicate it because it's just everywhere, right? So you're going to learn all these terms individually as we go through our task list. Just remember, stimulus is a change in an environment that impacts our behavior. Great. Thank you for watching. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials. Like, subscribe. Let us know when you pass so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.